Hi guys, it's Annika. I am in the kitchen because that's where I love to be, and I am here today to show you guys how to make the beautiful Paleo Clovis Approved gingerbread cookies. The one thing that isn't maybe as Clovis approved would be the blackstrap molasses, but the ratio to how many cookies we're going to have, there's only going to be a very small amount of molasses in the cookies. So I'm reducing it from a 1/4 cup to 2 tablespoons in the entire batter. And instead of using coconut sugar, we're going to be using xylitol. So instantly, there goes all the sugar worries. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with the egg and egg yolk. So if you watched the macaroons video, you saw that we had the extra egg yolk that I put in this little container and another egg. And so this recipe calls for 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk. So in the large bowl, we're going to, I guess it's larger. So we're going to have 1 small and 1 medium. In the medium-sized bowl, we're going to measure out some almond butter and our eggs. You can use a whisk or a big stand mixer. That'll be fine, but I'm going to use a handheld mixer just because it's really easy to show you guys how to do everything. So I'm going to mix the egg yolk, the almond butter, and the coconut. So, once again, food scale. Instead of using the cups, I'm going to put my bowl on here, zero it out. This calls for about 2/3 of a cup, but I'm just going to go in with about, probably, however much that is, 3.3. Perfect. So, we have about a big glob of almond butter in there, and that measured out to 3.3 ounces. That's the only thing we're going to probably measure today. So next we're going to put in our egg and our egg yolk. So we're going to crack our egg into the almond butter. And we're going to put our egg yolk. So egg yolk, and then we're also going to add coconut oil, which I have measured out. So I just used some extra virgin coconut oil. So it's supposed to be softened. Set in. Don't vibrate. We're going to go in here and just mix these. I tried to make sure that our eggs, egg yolk, coconut oil, and almond butter were at room temperature. It's not a requirement, but it just makes it a lot easier to work with and for everything to kind of combine together. Room temperature is always the easiest, so just let your eggs and your almond butter and everything sit on the counter for a bit. So here's our consistency here. It's going to kind of look peanut buttery. So the almond butter, the eggs, coconut oil. Okay. Also, we want to make sure that our oven is at 350. Now we're going to add the molasses and the xylitol. So it can get kind of sticky. It smells amazing. But we are going to just kind of go with it here, and I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons. Okay, we're going to take our xylitol, and we're going to use a 1/4 cup of that. 1/4 cup. And some vanilla. This is going to call for a teaspoon, which I'm just going to kind of eyeball. That's about a teaspoon there, and we're going to mix it up. It's going to look like this. So, the biggest difference between xylitol and sugar and monk fruit is you're going to have a little bit bigger of granular looking bits. But when you bake them, it'll be totally fine. They'll melt. It'll be perfect. So in another bowl, we are going to put in our dry ingredients. So I know it is tedious to have 2 different bowls, but trust me, it's a lot easier to mix these ingredients dry. So 2/3 cup of coconut flour. So we have 1/3 cup here. And we'll go ahead and tilt this so you guys can see what I'm doing. So it's going to call for 2/3 cup. This is a 1/3 cup scooper if y'all are curious. Okay. Then we're going to go in with a teaspoon of baking soda. So, teaspoon of baking soda. Then we're going to go in. So, depending on how spicy you want your gingerbread to be with that spice flavor, it's going to depend on how much ginger you put into your cookies. I like them spicier. So does Paleo Running Momma, who did this recipe. So we're going to go in with some ground ginger and a teaspoon. I'm going to put a full teaspoon. I love it. We're also going to use some allspice. Calls for a 4th teaspoon. And it goes. And cinnamon. Going in with a full teaspoon of cinnamon. And my favorite part, a pinch of salt, a heaping spoon, or I like to go in with a little extra salt because salt in baking, side note here, is extremely important. If you do not add salt, it will not counterbalance the sweetness. The salt and the sweet are a perfect marriage in baking. So our mixture is going to look like this. And we're just going to mix it with a spatula, like so. Okay, so once this is mixed, we are going to slowly incorporate it into our wet ingredients. So it's going to be pretty sticky, and we're going to want to let the dough chill. That is also going to be a key fact here. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt the camera and kind of let you guys see how I incorporate these two together. So I did about half. It's gonna get pretty sticky. Okay. Oh, this smells so good. Okay, so we're gonna look a little like this. I'm gonna take the spatula and just kind of scrape the sides. Just make sure it's all together. Like so. Kind of just mash it all together. Does not look like a lot of dough, but trust me, this is plenty. This will make at least over probably 14 to 15 cookies. So, with it being this soft, because we used so many room temperature ingredients, we are going to put this in the fridge. We're going to let this chill for 20, 30 minutes, could be an hour. The longer you chill the dough, the easier it's going to be to work with. It's going to be pretty sticky right now. You could make cookies, but they will become really flat. So if you've ever made cookies and have had this issue of the dough kind of just spluing out and like chocolate chips popping up and no dough, it's because either the dough was just too warm or you used melted butter or anything melted. So the coconut oil was softened, but it was pretty soft. And it was also because your dough just wasn't firm enough. Because when it's firm enough, it can bake in its shape and just expand as much as it needs to. So as much as it pains me to put dough away, it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean off these beaters a little into here, and I'm going to put this bowl in the fridge. Okay, so I took the dough out of the fridge. I kind of flattened it a little just so it had more surface area to get cold. So this is the ideal temperature that we want it to be. So what I'm going to use to make our cookies is plain old tablespoon. So what you're going to do is we're going to roll them into balls, and then we're going to push them down a little bit to give them that like crackled look. If you want, you can sprinkle them with a little bit of coconut sugar if you want. That just adds a little more sugar. I don't. What I do is I take a fork and I do the haystack pattern. So you're going to want to have a pan with parchment paper just like so. And we are going to take a tablespoon measurement, and I'm going to tilt the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing like always, and then we can go from there. So I weighed them last time I made them, and each one was about 0.7 to 0.8 ounces when I put them on the scale. So, I mean, let's be super awesome and weigh them. This is, 1.1 ounce. Okay, so this one's actually kind of bigger. This one is 1 ounce. So let's see. 0.9, 0.8. Okay. So tedious, I know. Okay, so 0.7. So we want them to be about this big. The only reason why I weigh them is because I just kind of want to see if I'm making the same size as the other ones. And I want to stay consistent in the macros of things so that my recipe that I already have in my carb manager, I can just put in one cookie and it'll be the same macros. And also, the one I posted on Instagram in my store today, that is actually not the right macros because I decided to switch this recipe up a little bit as I made them today. So I already did it on most of them, but to do the haystack pattern, you just take a fork and go horizontally and then vertically. And it gives you this little pattern. The oven's already preheated, so I'm just going to throw them in 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. And if you guys like my videos, I would love it if you would give my Instagram a follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be putting out plenty of videos every week on different recipes and different things that you guys want to see made. So let me know what you want. Give me a follow. I put a lot of behind the scenes things on my Instagram story, and I would love for your feedback. So I look forward to connecting. Thanks, guys.